Absolutely. So I think the biggest thing is getting them in an environment for them to know what to do. So your 10X Ladies platform, I think, is fantastic with especially shifting the mindset of just there is something bigger and there's something that is available to me in the situation as a spouse that I'm in. I may be here, but I have the options to connect and be able to invest in myself in a way that I can now be open to other opportunities. You know, for me and for our team, what we, real estate is what we do. But we also, it's more than just real estate. It's being business minded, because you take those same principles and you could really go into any industry with them. We love real estate because you can go from state to state, you can sell from state to state, and you really have a viable, career, especially with the entitlements that their, veteran family, is entitled to. So it starts with them. I can be an investor. I can be an investor right here. I may not, even go to a 9-to-5 every day, but I can still start to invest with the benefits that I already have. And so educating our spouses on what those options look like is super important. I've been doing this since 2007. And when I saw that there was a need, because everyone's like, well, how did you guys buy your house? Well, I had a little bit more, different life experience coming into the military space. So, buying a home, was just kind of normal for you graduate from college, do that, buy a house, do the things. And then I realized, wow, there's an opportunity for education here. And so that's really where our platform for education started. And, originally it was the service members, and it took us a long time to realize, wow, we need to be speaking to the spouses. Right. Because they don't know. But they're the decision makers. Right. And a lot of times. Yep. Or the ones who...
They're the power behind the power.
You know how we are.
Yes, of course.
So that was really important that they understand they're secure, not only in the investment of their home, their shelter, but then also looking at it from a career standpoint. There are a lot of different programs out there for spouses in education and certificate programs, getting their license and really having a viable career in many different
that they can do from any, as you said earlier, state.
Absolutely.
So the one of the collaborations that we're doing is having the spouses have the opportunity to come to 10X Ladies. And the 10X Ladies event is really based on the 4 pillars of what it means to be a 10X woman, which is the Empire mindset, relationships. How do you get on the same page? How do you work in a coordinated effort with your spouse to reach heightened levels of success? Absolutely. And then the health, and then the money and the finance piece, which is what we're going to bring into it. The other thing about 10X Ladies is the power of being around like-minded women who understand what you and us as women go through, which is not to knock any man, because again, the purpose of this environment is how do we figure out female to male, how do we work together instead of I don't need you, you don't need me, independent, I can do it myself, which is really pushing and pulling against yourself. Well, what about the power of 2 or more? Yeah. What if they could get on the same page and win? And so the power of the woman is, the word power comes from the capacity or the ability to influence the behavior of others. So the more we as women can own our power, have the knowledge, the correct information about a subject to be able to make these educated decisions that are going to be helpful and beneficial to our families and our community, then they can get their space right to say, hey, while the spouse is protecting our country and doing what they do to provide for America, they can then run the family unit from home, which are the true heroes, right? The one that has to be, not that they're not true heroes. I do not want that to be taken out of context.
They definitely
This is what I will say to that, is that the one that supports the thing. And again, we're going back to the definition of support means to show active interest in the success of, to show active interest, and it also means to bear the weight of. So I always look at, in this particular case, the military spouses, as the ones that have to bear the weight of the travel, the different environments, everything that comes along with all of that. They would have to be the strongest one. You know, because they're the ones bearing the weight of. So I'm really excited about getting them into an atmosphere that is just going to give them an opportunity to be around other like-minded women that they can do business with, have collaborations with, meet, have referral businesses with, because the women that attend this 10X Ladies of a global empire are coming here all with the 10X mindset in mind on how can we collaborate? How can we be a networking event? How can we help each other? How can women come together and be strength in numbers to boost all of us to heightened levels of success so that we can not only live up to our full potential, but be the support and the strength for our children, our husbands or wives, depending, and how do we make a difference in the community? Because again, now I'm being biased, but I think women are going to be the ones that change the trajectory of the world, because power says the capacity or the ability to influence the behavior of others. And it doesn't say you have to be a CEO. It doesn't say you have to be in the military. It doesn't say you have to have $1 million, billion, however many dollars. It just says if you have the capacity to influence the behavior of others, you have power. So I want these women to really come in, own their power, increase their power, and go out and become big and powerful enough to change the trajectory of the planet.
Absolutely. And I love that. And that's really what our military spouses really need. They need that community, because sometimes you can get in your own, you know, just your own little,
it's the mindset. It's the
box.
mindset. It wasn't taught in school. But continue.
You know, and the power also that we do have, and I love the way that you describe that, is understanding that you do have it. Because when you are subject to orders, you're subject to all these third party, including even your spouse doesn't always have control. You can feel like you don't have the power. You can feel like you're powerless.
Right.
And that is a very crippling place. It does not provide growth. It doesn't provide, creativity, and it can really also break, I've seen it many times, even break homes. You know, so I not only see this collaboration as a mindset shift, but I mean, really, we're saving lives, we're saving homes, we're saving dreams. Like, there's so much more to it. It's not just, okay, you can, have a career. It's really understanding how you can work collaboratively with your spouse. You have your identity. You don't feel like you're, lost or, feeling I have to leave this environment to find myself. You can find yourself within the environment and continue to have a healthy, happy life. And that to me is so priceless. When it comes to the sacrifices that I know that we made. Right. And then being able to be an active support. So you don't look up 20 years later, okay, now finally he's retired. Now it's my turn. Well, there's no reason for you to have lost 20 years of your life, agree. And just understanding what those things are.
And I love that the brokerage that we work for is open in every state. We're a cloud-based company. You can work from your home, or there's other alternatives if you want to have your own office space, or you want to go rent St. Regis Office Spaces actually provides EXP agents with free office space. It's a deal that they worked out with the brokerage. So they can actually do this from home while caring for the children, if that's the role that they're in. And then if they live in Texas and have to get transported to Florida or California, it's not like they have to leave and get a new brokerage in a new state. It's all the same. I mean, you'd have to get your license to practice, but in that state. But that's pretty easy to do once you've done it the first time.
Absolutely, and I love that part too, because then it doesn't shift your it doesn't really change your team. It doesn't change what you are already
Right.
doing. You're just,
Right.
doing it somewhere else.
Right.
And that, I feel like the freedom, our current business model was hiring active duty, retired spouses, and that's what we've done. And we've seen the lives change
Right.
in this space. And
Right.
so grateful for our team and being able to be a part of that, because that was my vision. Yes, real estate is just one option, but it really is a great and viable option in many ways, whether you want to be a transaction coordinator, whether you actually want to do sales, whether you want to be, support in any way, but you can do that from anywhere.
And I love this because also if let's say Susie joins our team, and she wants to partner with her mother, her sister, her friends, from people she knows from social media that are in another state, she's now not limited for them joining the company under her. The benefit to that is now, because the company is geared around supporting the agent, she'll be rewarded for that. So what happens is let's say she brings in 5 people that are all working real estate agents. Now, without her actively selling a home, but with them selling a home or a condo or a property, et cetera, the company pays her a piece of everything that they do until they cap. And so she can not only be earning, or he, their income from their actual commissions, but by bringing in other partners to work alongside. So it's a leveraged income stream. It's not, you can't call it passive because you're supporting your team, but it's a leveraged income stream. And the other thing I really love about the company is they give you stock bonuses. So anyone that comes in gets to have actual ownership of the company, providing that when the first time they make their first sale, you're going to get a stock bonus. The first time you bring in somebody else and they do their first sale, they're going to get a bonus. The first time they cap, anytime they cap for the new year, they get a bonus. So all of this adds up. I mean, someone could pull in however much the stock goes up, it can be another 30, 60, 80 grand in a year just from the stock worth.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And I know that these are concepts that many military spouses probably didn't even know was available. Even me, being in the industry for so long, really understanding the power of the platform of the company
And the
was
collaboration,
just yes.
right?
And so it aligns with what our mission is, to spread the information across the planet on how to utilize VA benefits for home ownership, not only for yourself, but to continue, and how to invest in property, how to then have that business mindset to then be able to do, like I said, a million different things.
You've got so many options.
Right, but it starts here.
That's
with
right.
Understanding what you can, and then believing in yourself, and having the support around you who can get you from where you are to where you want to be.
Right.
And it's just.
And we've got like
amazing.
a global support team. I don't speak Spanish. I have people that are in my organization that speak Spanish. I have a big team in Mexico, Australia. So they're on the organization. Like, there's transactions happening globally in places I've never even been.
Yeah,
that are happening that I'm getting paid off of.
Yeah.
And also that's all accumulative. The beauty about this brokerage is that if they cap in one state, they don't have to then cap in another state. And we're at an 80-20 split with our organization. So they take 20% up until you pay in the States $16,000 total to them. Then you go to 100% for the rest of your transactions per year.
Yeah, see, that's awesome.
Isn't that incredible?
It is. And that's the autonomy that I think, especially in real estate, that agents not wanting to, or now they don't feel like they have to be a broker, can then have command and control and build their organization and build a business.
And not have the liability of being a broker.
If I could explain that to agents, if I could help them understand that my badge as a broker, it's just, all it is more liability.
Lawsuits.
Yes.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. And I'm like, but I am not at all ego driven. If you understood how I got into real estate, it was really like, I was like, oh, at that time, all you needed was a degree. I was like, okay, I can do this. I can figure it out. And I taught myself, because that was just where things were. There was no social media, and there was very little at that time. And if I had to do it all over again, and I had a platform like what we have, that would have been my choice.
Right.
Absolutely. Because there's nothing wrong with aspiring to do what I've done, what we've done. But I tell you what, that we didn't have this option then.
Right.
This option is so powerful, and I hope that everyone understands just
like how,
how
well, this is why we're going to collaborate and go and do these seminars to make the spouses understand where they can go, what they can do, how they can provide for their families without having a huge hindrance. Yeah. So tell me, when you educate the spouses on the entitlements that you were talking about, that being in the military are provided to them, are they shocked to know this, or does everybody know this?
Oh, they're shocked.
Can you tell us about some of this for the military people?
Absolutely. They're shocked. I mean, the reality is only 30% of our active duty service members even own homes. There's 70% rent. That's number one. Number two, the statistics are there. 25% don't even know at all that they have this benefit.
Tell me briefly, what is one of the benefits?
So the biggest benefit is the VA loan is 100%. There's no down payment.
And they don't know this.
And they don't know this, and they don't know how to
Were they given material about this and they just didn't look through it? Or why do we not know this?
Well, to be honest, I don't think that it's something that's very widely educated on from installation to installation. You have some that do a better job than others with really communicating and understanding. But a lot of times it's just because they don't know, especially the spouses. The spouses do have a lot of different educational points in the process. There's a lot of different organizations, but they don't specifically speak to finances. It's it can be a very sensitive situation, but it's very necessary, because I see too many times that becomes the root of then marital problems and all of those things. So if we attacked it, and if we provided you with an opportunity to know how to properly utilize your benefits, then we wouldn't have as many problems. I mean, we have I've seen our clients and our service members who had very little money to begin with, 2 years later, after making one right choice, change their whole life. Their whole life. And so we get this feedback because we stay in contact with our clients, and again, been doing it for almost 15 years. So I've seen them go on and be able to buy businesses and to invest in other things, invest in multiple properties, understand how, and still be active duty.
Right.
The power is, if you are active duty, you're getting your entitlement, you're getting your basic housing allowance, which is tax-free. You have this home benefit. You're able to invest those dollars and then get a return. I mean, it is just so powerful. But the spouses, some are like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But then when you break it down for them and you say, okay, well, this is how much you're paying in rent.
Right.
This is how much your mortgage would be, and this is what your potential return can be. Then when you help them understand.
Right.
Because also in the military, you have a lot of services that are provided for you. So there is a level of dependence with the institution, right? So, which is totally fine. There's nothing, that is what the support is there for. Right. But then sometimes, again, you need to be enlightened that you do have more options. You don't have to stay in this box. That box is necessary for a time, and then you grow outside of that. And so now it's time to say, hey, what do I want for my family? What do I want for my future? How am I going to be able to create wealth with very limited time?
Right. And financial resources. Right.
So I can make sure that my kids get through college and that we're able to, retire successfully and do all the things.
Right.
And not feel also that I just have to get out of the military to be able to be successful. So, those are the things that we teach through our seminars, and it just really helps. It's really financial education.
Right.
The home is just the vehicle.
Right.
The VA loan is just the vehicle. When I talk to a lot of my, they're just like, oh my gosh, I'm saving so much more money. And it's not even about the house anymore. It's about that they did a deep dive into their finances for the first time, now taking full responsibility for their, behaviors with their money and understand a better way to manage it.
Right.
And so that's like the true win.
Right.
Because now you can transfer that to, all the other things in life is so much, better.
Right.
So.
And why, again, the 10X ladies atmosphere is so beneficial is because the concept is those 4 pillars, the mindset, the money, the relationships, and being able to design your life. Health is in that
Absolutely.
box. But the concept is you can't be 10X in your relationships and having 2X in your money.
That's right.
So how do we 10X your money? How do we 10X your relationships? How do we 10X your health? And how do we get you to manifest it all, create it, and do all of this in that environment so that you can go home if the spouse isn't able to attend 10X Ladies with you, which hopefully they will, because it gets you open to different ideas and concepts and enlightenment to where you're on the same page.
Right.
But at the bare minimum, at least a 10X lady can then go home and know even what conversations to start opening the doors for, with the attitude of let's work together and reach heightened levels of success together, and how do we take care of our family and create legacy as a couple.
Yep. And that's what's so huge.
Yeah.
It's the teamwork.
Yes.
And not feeling so much that it's, me versus him.
Right.
And which that can happen and you don't even know it's happening.
And a lot of it happens from misinformation or not having information.
Yeah, or the resentment that can start to fester because, as a spouse, you feel like you're losing and you don't have any choices, and you love your husband and you're going to definitely support him, and you love your kids and you're going to be there for all of them. But then again, it's like, what about me?
Right.
And
Right.
so that's the piece, and that's what we try to solve, is that what about me? So here, let me tell you what you can do.
Right.
You have this myriad of different things. Pick one.
Yeah, so a person can come into our organization and either get on the Buying the Home program, and that's already going to lead to success. Or they can come in and say, you know what, I want to take this to the next level. I want to go ahead and do what you're doing and go and partner up with other people and join the company and be able to work from home and blah, blah, blah. So there's that avenue. What about the teachings of how they can also train other people to do this? Don't you have some contract with the military for training?
We do. So our nonprofit, Veteran Homeowners Club, we actually go on to installations, and that's how we teach our classes.
And installations are
the military installations. So the actual
okay,
bases.
right. Okay,
where
got it.
We're active.
Like Fort Benning is an installation.
Yep,
Got it.
Camp
okay.
Pendleton.
Got it.
32nd Street, for the Navy, for all of the different branches.
Got it.
And so that's where the education piece comes in. That's where our training comes in. But we also do train in a business setting as well. Let's just say real estate isn't your thing, but how to have that money mindset. And that's what I love about 10X Ladies and all of the things that, all the different, enterprise platforms that you do have, is because if real estate isn't your thing, that's not what you want to do, it's still showing you how to enter into business, whatever that may be. It may be a barbershop, it may be, a food truck, it may be, you want to learn how to, you want to sell training, or whatever their heart's desires, they still have to have the mindset and understand how business works, and tapping into their own inner resource, their own inner power to be able to execute on their ideas. And so really and truly, we are here to offer all of those things. And so that's why, 10X Ladies, specifically for spouses, is so important, because it really taps all of those, like the world will then be theirs. Like the options are limitless in that space.
And can they qualify for a grant to get your training?
They do. So there is a spouse grant, and that it's a certificate program. It's $4,000. There's different industries that do fall within that eligibility, and they definitely can pursue real estate and getting their real estate license,
or whatever,
or their certificate program. Because we actually have just submitted all of our paperwork to have our training program qualified for that for the program for the $4,000 grant.
So let's say someone wants to come in and they're like, I love this. I can be a realtor. I know a lot of people and, you know, blah, 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 blah. So they can apply for this grant and it would cover their learning to do not only your course, but it would cover their $500 online Become a Realtor course. Like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's so many resources, and it's about getting the information to them so they know what to do. And that's why, you know, we're like, it's like a bullhorn. We want everyone to hear this because it can be so life-changing. I can tell you, I've seen it. It's happened to me. That's our environment that we work with and our team members every day. You know, so many did not know what they were going to do. They didn't know what they were going to do when they, you know, transitioned out of the military. And trust me, 2 people transition when that happens, the spouse and the service member.
That's right.
So it's not just about the service member transitioning. So does the spouse. What are our options? When you're looking at that partnership and team, things change. Money changes. Income changes. Even if you make it to 20 years, it's different. Active duty pay versus retirement pay. You know, so also then being able to get ahead of that transition so people have a plan to walk into, so there's no stress, there's no, you know, breakdown in confidence, you know, there's not that feeling of, okay, what do I do now? And it also then starts to, you know, it combats, you know, where a lot of veterans fall into, you know, this mindset of, I don't know what to do next.
Right.
Right? And that affects your home.
Yep.
You see the divorce rates happen.
Yep.
You
Now
see
they're home. It's
and
like,
then you see
wait,
the
I was
homelessness
working
happen as a result of not
yes.
having options.
Right.
So although we may think that, okay, what we're doing is for the right now, but it really is for the future. It's really safeguarding that family.
The transition.
Yes. From what, you know, what may or what could happen in advance.
Yeah, mitigate the panic, anxiety level.
Yes.
Like, okay, that's going to help tremendously.
Yep.
Also, I just wanted to mention that Grant Cardone, you know, my husband, he's got a whole Cardone University. And for whatever this is worth to the vet community is, if you go to cardoneuniversity.com/vets, they have free access to some of his sales and training. That's free for the vets, which normally we charge thousands of dollars for. So that content is there specifically for the vets who transition, but it's open to all active.
That is
military,
wonderful.
yeah.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely, you know, we'll be sharing that in this, you know, as we move forward. And I'm super excited for all of the things that you have available, you know, through, you know, 10X Ladies, Cardone Capital Enterprises for, you know, our veteran community, because education really is the key. You know, the military does what it does, right? That's their specialty. But life after the military is not their specialty. So that's where, you know, people like ourselves step in and want to, you know, we're trying to offer an option, you know, to understand what options are out there, what life looks like after the military, how you can leverage your time while you're in the military to be successful, so you're set up for success. Because I can tell you the sacrifice is significant.
I can only imagine.
It is beyond. And it was all new to me when I entered into the military space. And although I have to say that I had some really great friends who tried to prepare me, and they did a great job. And it all started up here in my mind. If I could put my mind around, you know, what this was really going to look like and feel like I could make it. And, you know, and it really wasn't as much of a problem from that perspective. But I think that's the same thing when it comes to, you know, what real life is like, what the other side of life looks like. You have to be mentally prepared. And so that's what, you know, I feel like we're going to do, you know, especially for our ladies, and what Grant will be doing with, you know, with our other organization, and just making just having an option. We're doing
Right.
our part, and I
We're
love
building
it.
an
And
empire.
Yes, and it's so much fun.
An army of powerful women.
Exactly. Trust me, all of my team members are super excited about this new venture we're going down, and we just love we love what you all are doing. We just have, they are so on fire and so ready. Like they're like, are we there yet? I'm like, okay, guys, we're like 1 week out. They're super excited, and they're just beautiful souls who want to make a difference, who want to share the information. We do a lot of training with our agents, and it's not just it's about their life. We believe that yes, we can help you make a good living, but we also want to teach you how to keep it and grow it. And that's super, and that's not, you don't find that very often, and so that's something that we'll definitely be sharing with, our whole team, is how do we keep it, what avenue. I know you guys do a lot with Cardone Capital and reinvesting and all the things, but what do we do with this, a newbie?
Right.
So how do you set up your business? How do you protect your business?
Right.
How do you ensure that you are, your tax situation is the right way? So we work with other professionals, to help and really cultivate that. And I can tell you, we've had a lot of agents come from other companies and like, well, no one ever told us this. Well, and in all fairness, that's not necessarily what they're set up to do, but that's what we do.
Right.
We do pride ourselves in doing things differently. We want to have that family environment, want to have the community that you can feel safe in and be able to trust your fellow team member.
Right.
But a lot of that then starts with being secure in yourself, limiting this element of competition and being more collaborative and understanding what that power looks like. And that's something that doesn't necessarily just come. That is something that we teach. So if you didn't have it when you got to us, hopefully you'll have it,
Oh, million percent,
when you
sure.
get into it. Because it's like, especially for women, let's just be honest. The level of competition that we create in our own heads is just crazy, right? And so I tell them, I'm like, listen, we are better together. Trust me.
Sure.
We are better together.
For sure.
We are.
And then being able to have the red flags, what to look for, who knowing who to trust. That's all, I deliver all that content as well. Like, who's in your circle? Do they get to just be there, or why? And who's an asset and who's a liability? And that's how you have to look at every single person in your life. And once you get the knowledge in that area of, okay, I see a number of red flags here, maybe I should trust and believe that maybe I don't go into business with this person. Or this person's got my purpose and my core values aligned, and I can look at the stats, not what they tell me, but their past and previous statistics, to where I can gauge. And how are the people around them? Are they in a good condition, or are they having all kinds of problems? And so then it gives people, women in particular, more confidence on going, you know what, I can trust this woman because I am trustworthy and I know what it looks like when I see it in others. So
I love that.
Yeah.
And I also love we're collaborating and bringing women together from different walks of life and experiences and businesses, and how much value different perspectives can bring to our lives of just, wow, that's a different point of view. You're learning and you're growing. And you're sharing, and it's a powerful thing. It's so powerful.
It really is. It really is.
Well, I am super excited.
I'm super excited too.
And I'm so grateful and thankful, for this time.
Me too.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's
just gonna be incredible. Yes. We are gonna kill it.
We are gonna kill it.
Super excited.
Yes, and for everyone else who'll be joining us, they're gonna be killing it too, and it's just gonna be fun.
Well, I know what you provide on the training and the vets and that. Then I have my whole world. I have Cardone world, where you can go in, and every single agent with us and on our team has this platform of my Build an Empire online course. All of Grant's training is there. Like, there is no shortage of support. I do weekly 10X agent support calls. We have opportunities to meet in person at our little conventions, to where we can really rally and share best practices. I mean, they are really coming into a group if they decide to come on board with us and in our organization with such strength and power behind them that there's just not a shortage for flailing, whatever that word is.
Like flailing, yes.
Yes, how do you say it?
Flailing.
Flailing. Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're going to win.
They're going to win.
And see, and again, we're going to help them.
Yep.
And, you know, with all of your training, especially the mindset is huge. It starts there.
It does start there. Everything starts there.
It starts there. So, yeah, I'm
okay.
excited.
Me too.